We're from Fancy Tiger Crafts.
And we love knitting. I'm going to show you how to seam the top of your knitting together with the top of another piece of fabric that is most often used for seaming shoulders in sweaters. You're going to pay attention to how the stitches look and recreate the structure of the knit stitch between the two pieces of fabric. With the fabric facing up, take a darning needle and matching thread or yarn. I'm using a contrasting color so you can see the stitches. With the fabric facing up, go from the bottom of the fabric up through the first knit stitch that you can see on the edge of your fabric. You're going right in the middle of that stitch, closest to the top, and coming up through the middle of the stitch. Then on the opposing piece of fabric, you want to find a knit stitch, and where it comes together at the very bottom, where the stitch kind of makes the bottom of the heart shape, you want to go behind those two pieces of yarn with your needle and pull that through. Then on the lower fabric, you'll go back into the center of the stitch that you just came out of and come up through the center of the stitch to the left of it. And you can see that you've just made what looks like a knit stitch. Now you're going to go into the top fabric again, find where the last stitch came out of that fabric, which should be just to the right of a full knit stitch, and go under the two strands of that stitch. Then again, you'll go to the bottom and go into the center of the stitch that you came out of, and go under and into the next stitch over. You're going through 2 bars on the bottom as well. I just like to think of it as the center of the stitch that you're going in and out of down here, and then behind the stitch above. So you're going under 2 bars, you're going in where you came out before, and then in the bottom fabric, you'll go into a stitch and out of the center of the next stitch, going under 2 bars. As you stitch down the seam, you'll want to tighten your stitches to look about the same size as the actual knitting stitches. You don't want them too loose and you don't want them too tight either. So I'll do my top fabric stitch and then the bottom. And I just repeat that all the way down the seam. Every once in a while taking a look to make sure that the stitches look like they're going at a nice tension, and then continue. A lot of times in your shoulder seam, it won't be a perfectly straight seam, so you might have to jog up to the next row if there's been some short row shaping, but just continue to follow where the stitches are, into the center of the stitch and out of the center of a stitch, and then above, behind one full stitch. And once you get to the end of that seam, you'll just weave in your ends. It'll look nice and tidy. That will probably be at the top of your shoulder. When you use a matching yarn, it looks really nice.